added a small addendum to a previous video I made about sleeping in graduate medical education. One of the examples which I cited occurred while I was in Good Samaritan, where I worked at that time as an ear physician, where we had called a cardiologist to come in to see somebody. And at that time, I think this was in the 2000s, 2002, 2003, and a cardiologist had driven down Robert Mopus Parkway to come and see somebody in the middle of the night and had an accident and passed away. And I think one of the things why I decided, you know what, I don't really want to do primary care or in Suffolk County was at that time I felt that there was so much emphasis placed on somebody coming to see the patient, and the ear physician insisted, oh, come and see the patient, come and do this, come and do that, and therefore at the risk of that person's life, and he eventually died. And also the resident I talked about was actually she also died in New Jersey at that time, and these deaths were just, you know, written off. And it was because of this, and this had occurred years ago, but recently I had a fellow who still experienced the same thing in 2020 in driving to cover several hospitals as a surgeon, and I felt in my mind that 20 years after, people haven't even learnt, you know, they haven't learnt anything, and hospitals haven't learnt their lessons because nobody has actually brought this to the forefront. So often enough, when they get to a place where they have to see the parking lot maybe at places that are far away, and therefore there's some distance to walk, especially if they are females in the middle of the night, arriving at 2 a.m. and instead of an access that will allow them easy access to the hospital, they end up parking in a lot far away, having to walk back. And when, if they had come with a service, they could have just simply parked. The service would have just brought them, put them in front of a place, they walk into the hospital and then walk out when the service comes to pick them up. But because this has been done traditionally the old way, where residents and fellows were expected to do this in the middle of the night, nobody seemed to change the way things are done. And 20 years later, we're experiencing exactly the same thing. Nobody probably has collated the statistics on how many people have died in residency, or died as medical students, or died as attendees just because of this problem. But I feel that because we are aware that it is, we don't have to collect all the statistics. And this is one of the reasons I'm putting it as an experiences in medicine. Even a simple part of creating an area where people can drink coffee, residents when they're on call, when they start the day, and therefore it's not something that the residents have to prior figure out. I think this, in addition, will probably help to reduce this scourge that has remained 20 years after. We'll receive probably additional comments from residents and fellows, and hope that this will change the attitude of hospitals and graduate medical educators on sleep that is important to the resident and the fellow. We have lots of studies that shows that performance is decreased, people who are sleep deprived, errors increase in people who are sleep deprived. But it seems as if there's a lot of lip service paid to this particular aspect. And I think that at this point, we should be able to bring this to a halt.